Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life. gbhblofficial for short, and they made what into a TV series, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. Season 2, Episode 5, That's Smart. Written by Ken Pontac. Are you excited, Damon? It's Pac-Man, Episode 5 of Season 2. A long way to go, but we're underway.
Absolutely thrilled the fact that they've been doing Pac-Man again.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sir C is out of town, and Pac and the gang are looking after Fuzzbit and Grinder. Of course, with him not around, this has given Dr. Buttocks a chance to hack into his system and find out how Grinder is made. How is it giving him a chance? So what, like Sir C is constantly having to update his systems and to stop Buttocks most of the time? Like, I don't understand this particular point of why he's not there and now Buttocks is free to hack into his system.
Yeah, I'm almost starting to get the feeling like it was the same thing like that we felt like with King K. Rool, that he just does it because he wants to be noticed. It's not like he wants to take over or uh,
I agree that about Betrayus. I
yeah.
think, and particularly how the season's going to go on, I think Dr. Buttocks could actually be, like, if he had a better leader and
Mm.
was more focused, he could at times do the stuff that we need. It's freaking Betrayus as leader that's the freaking bomber. He's our King K. Rool. He's our Professor Pester. He
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that character, 100%. Doesn't really care that much. He's got, I mean, we'll see, we've seen it already, but Betrayus' bigger issue is he's got freaking familial drama issues more than anything else. He's got trauma from a poor childhood.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it would not surprise me that at the end episode, like he just wants a hug from his parents or brother and stuff like that, and it all's forgiven.
Well, I haven't actually watched the finale episode yet. Of course, folks, we watch ahead in advance and do our notes this way. However, I am well aware of the synopsis for that final episode. Oh, Damon, are you in to be disappointed? Um, right. So yeah, Dr. Buttocks uses this, hacking in to create his own evil version of Grinder called Grindertron. An evil robot version. I wasn't particularly excited about this. Meanwhile, Pac is trying to study for a test so he can beat Silly. He'll always get A plus pluses, because Silly's a freaking nerd. No time for that though. Grindertron attacks, and here we see his scale. He's massive and being controlled by Dr. Buttocks inside. He's powerful, and even Pac with his power berries struggles against him. But by showing us that Dr. Buttocks is inside him, you pretty much announced how it can be beaten. It's
Yep,
not like, do you know what I mean, like it's him inside a robot. That's going to be beatable.
yep, indeed.
Elsewhere, Dr. B is able to shut down the power of the city before using an EMP to knock out all computers, including the hoverboards of Spiral and Silly. And I was like, oh, momentarily, we've got a thing here. Although it did annoy me where Silly's like, EMP, it means electromagnetic. Shut up.
Yeah, being the smart. Yeah.
Pac is able to save them, of course. Betrayus is distracted by what he is watching. And with some butler encouragement, he orders a ghost attack on Pac-World. And I was actually like, this is a good idea. While everybody's dealing with Grindertron or panicking about that, now you attack. That's a solid idea,
Indeed.
Betrayus. Meanwhile, Pac is trying to take Grindertron down but can't find a weak spot. The ghost now attacks, but this is just more Pac straight. However, Grindertron is protecting them, so it finally looks like they might be beaten. I was sitting there going, oh my god, this is it for Pacopolis. What are we going to do?
Everyone's dead.
They remark on how they need Sir C, but do notice that Grinder is still working post EMP, which is odd, right? Because he's a computer. How would a computer continue to work? It does try to tell them something, but they aren't listening, so it picks Pac up and carries him to a puzzle box that Cersei left for an emergency. Now, I thought, okay, yeah, right, I know, right? But I thought, okay, this is the latter half of the episode. Them trying to work out how to get into this puzzle box. And I reckon they won't be able to get into it, and at the end it'll just be, oh, it wasn't a puzzle box, it was like a button on it that called Cersei and he arrives, and something stupid
Yeah,
like that. But no, it's like immediately solved by Silly, and inside is a berry which will make Pac smart. And I'm just like, why introduce something that you just
yeah.
immediately solve? Here's the thing. We already know Silly's smart. We know she's the smartest of the three. What are you telling us with this episode? But also, Why would Cersei? I don't understand. Like, what's the point? Oh, why is he putting a bear? It doesn't make.
Just give him the barrier.
It's just an unnecessary extra step.
I know it's
Anyway, Pac takes it and it transforms into a nerd. And he is a proper nerd. You know, it makes him look like a nerd, and he's all like, "I'm a nerd," and oh, we do carry the two and do the four and all that. It's the most a caricature of what a nerdy character would look like. Think of
yeah,
well, I that's me shouting the nerd is obviously a reference to Homer Simpson,
yeah.
and in the Simpsons, nerds are portrayed in a certain way. There you go, and it's weird because right now I'm currently in a rewatch of Futurama, and obviously that's from the Simpsons creator as well, and emphasis on nerdy behavior from that too.
Hmm.
Anyway, Pac works out that Grinder is still running because of his heart, which is protected. So basically, he's got this heart that is a mechanical heart, but it's powered by non-robotic things or something. You know what, man? I tuned Nerd Pack out because basically he's just talking non-stop, and
Yeah,
it's nerd speak, but it's nerd speak that's effectively nonsense. Like, so I ended up just tuning it out.
yeah,
But this gives Nerd Pack an idea. He best work quickly though, as Dr. B is attacking the roundhouse, even if Betrayus keeps giving him confusing instructions because of its jealousy. So here we go. This is Class Betrayus, who's at the same time basically is watching Cersei and Spiria on a date. And because of that, he's super freaking jealous. Yeah.
yep,
And Butler's like, oh, it's because back when she dumped you when you were human and all that. But basically, because of this, he's constantly shouting instructions like at the screen and then confusing Dr. Buttocks as well. It is so like this is what I'm talking about. Betrayus' problems, and I guess it does. Here's the thing, right? Betrayus, Professor Pester, King K. Rool. I'm going to say Betrayus is the one I prefer watching the most, purely because he's got a lot of energy, and I actually like the layered elements to the character more than
mm,
because King K. Rool doesn't really have layers. He's just an idiot who might want
yeah,
to be friends with him more than anything else. Professor Pester has nothing. At least Betrayus has this funny, traumatic stuff that he loves, he cares, it's all of that. But like, because he's a villain and treated like a villain, he just has to be a villain.
yeah. He's actually the more comical out of the three. So
Yeah, and I'd say voice actor wise as well gives it so much energy.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what does Nerdpack create? A giant version of Grinder that he can control from inside and do battle with Grindertron. And I was like, is that it? Is that the most imaginative thing the
Hmm.
creators could come up with? Just another giant robot battle? They fight, but it's more of a battle of smarts, one that Pack easily wins. Everything Dr. B does, Nerdpack has an answer. However, having had enough of Betrayus's, now I'm going to call it simpering over Cersei and Spiria, Butler changes the channel to the defeat of Dr. B. He is currently trying to run away with Nerdpack chasing him, but dun, 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 the power berry wears off. Dumb Pack is back. So basically,
Hmm.
this gives Dr. Buttocks a chance to attack, and Pack has come up with a new plan. This involves leading them around the confusing streets of Packopolis and taking advantage of the clumsiness of the giant robot. Meanwhile, Betrayus is now back on his emotional journey, watching Cersei and Spiria. You know, um, you know what? There'd almost be something fun if this was the story was based around him watching them and then maybe trying to find ways to screw up their date, and then it keep backfiring.
Yeah, so
Right?
they could have done that, or they could have done like even like a little Star Wars spin-off. Get a bloody little ship that shoots the legs, and the legs fall over, the rubber falls over. Anything like that.
That could have been more fun. You're absolutely right. I don't know how Sui is. I mean, I imagine Star Wars is quite a Sui kind of company, but like how Sui are they if you even make references to stuff like that? I don't know.
Probably, actually.
Anyway, guess who wins? You're not going to believe it, folks. I was as shocked as you were. It's Pac. And the robot head is sent back to the Netherworld and into the throne room where Betrayus is. Just a distraction he needs. I did at least appreciate that. Betrayus needs distraction. His heart's been broken. And when your heart's been broken and you're sad and all, like, you just need to be distracted. You need the
Yeah,
boys to gather around you. You need to go out for a drink, or you need a giant robot head to fall into your throne room.
Okay, well, yeah.
Except it's not, and he laments his heartbreak. Pat hears the word rekindle and comes up with the idea of using his giant grinder robot to power up the sea. It works, and then the ghosts are vanquished. So C and Spiria now arrive back holding hands, so they've continued that relationship angle. And hearing how everything is okay, Silly's like, we can look after the place. You can you can go back on vacation. They kind of look at each other and go, yeah, we'll go and extend our vacation. And because I need to make this episode more fun, I was like, they're gonna go bang. We have, right, Pac's a child of parents, right? These characters and their weird legs and weird bodies. I know it's a weird thing to sexualize these characters, and I'm not doing that because it is weird. But you know what? You got to make this shit more fun. Because although I know it's aimed at children, we are now at this stage in time where it's just duh, 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 duh. And here's the thing. We still do have overarching plots. We do have them. And Cersei and Spiria is an example of that. But it means nothing. It means
Mhm.
nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's going nowhere. It's not adding to the lore. It's not utilized in really episodic fashion because remove Cersei and Spiria from this episode. It's the same old, same old. It
I mean,
adds nothing to it.
it's not what we want. We want more to with his parents, more about the ancient stuff when they found the temple and stuff like that. More that sort of stuff is what made the episode decent.
I would say every time we leave and get the hell out of Pacopolis, anything that's based in a Pacopolis and in the town and that specifics, it gets really boring. When they do more adventurous space stuff, underground stuff, netherworld stuff, I don't understand why more episodes don't take place in the netherworld. You can create anything down there, right? You have
Mhm.
you have a free map. Yet somehow, because you create that stupid rule about not being able to breathe and all that, you kind of handcuffed yourself. I don't get
Yeah.
it. So instead, we get stuck in a really boring city location doing boring stuff around robots. Who cares? I think Grinder is one of the worst of the characters. The most boring ass. I'm glad the character's barely in it because it's just such a and do you remember
Yeah.
like same with Fuzzbit? And I was worried when they were introduced that they were going to be major players. So to have one based around Grinder is really like, no, please God, you know? I thought this was just really bland and boring.
Yep. Indeed, I agree.
Episode 5 of season 2, that's smart. You got any thoughts and you know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.